everybody, welcome back to Coach's Corner. So today we're going to start our first out of 4 series on different types of programming. And we know there's a ton out there, so we're going to pick the more popular ones that we've heard of and we've heard of a lot of different people doing. We're going to start today with 5-3-1, and then we're going to move into next week the cube method, followed by fifth set, and then ending up with West Side. So Ryan, can you go ahead and give us an overview of 5-3-1?
Yep. So 5-3-1 is a 4-week program. You start off on 3x5, then you go down to 3x3, and you're going to do 3 singles. 3 being the number of sets you're going to do, 5, 3, and 1 being the number of reps you're going to do. After that, you're going to go into a 4th week of a deload. So your first week, you would start off with you'll have a squat, a bench, a deadlift, and a overhead press type of day, right?
Okay.
So you're going to spread it out over 4 days, one of the major lifts each day. You've got 3 sets to hit 5 reps. You'll do 5 reps starting at 65% for your first set. Then you're going to do set 2, 5 reps at 75%. And you're going to do set 3 at 85% with 5 reps. So each week, your reps go from 5 down to 3, and then down to 1 for that final accumulation phase. Your percentages go from 65, 75, and 85% the first week to 70, 80, and 90% for the second week. And then you go to 75, 85, and 95% for that third week, where you're hopefully going to be able to hit a 1 rep max after you do your last 3 sets.
Okay, so that sounds a little complicated to me starting out. What is the purpose of the 5-3-1? Like, how does it work?
So the purpose of 5-3-1 is you build up some volume, you start dropping your volume, increasing your technique, and then ultimately you're going to hit your 1 rep max. So say if you needed to peak for a competition real quick, you could do a 5-3-1 type cycle and then go into the competition as your 1 rep max day to be able to hit everything. It's not always beneficial because it does not incorporate any kind of speed work, at least as far as my opinion goes. But ultimately, it's a great program for beginners, for somebody just trying to put on some size, put on some strength, and just learn about like a program in general. It's simple to follow. I mean, 5, 3, 1, deload.
So if I were a new lifter and I wanted to create my first program, how would I get started with 5-3-1? Like, how do I start organizing it?
All right, so you could very easily just go on the internet and Google 5-3-1 training program.
Oh.
And it's going to break it down for you. What do you need to be able to do? So you pick an exercise. We'll say any kind of squat you like, right? So we'll go for 5 sets of 3 that first week, or 3 sets of 5 for that first week. And then the second week, you're going to use the same bar, different percentages, different rep set. Okay. It'd be a 3x3. And then that final week would be a singles. 3 singles, same bar the whole week. You do the same thing for bench. You pick, we'll say flat bench. Repeat the same sets and reps. Deadlift, whatever deadlift variation you want to use, and then the overhead press, whatever overhead press variation you want to use. You'd follow those same 4 exercises throughout the full 4 weeks of the cycle as your main lifts. Now your secondary lifts, you could go in and throw in a safety bar squat or a deadlift for 1 day, and knowing that you have 2 lower body days, so a squat and a deadlift, and then you have 2 upper body days, a bench and an overhead press, you'd probably want to kind of mix those up. So you do like a squat bench or squat overhead. Then the next cycle you do the deadlift and the overhead, or vice versa.
Okay, so it does seem pretty easy, especially if there's a template online that sounds like it's plug and play.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so that would be really good for a beginner into powerlifting or strength training.
It'll get you familiarity with all the bars. It'll let you create a program that's somewhat simple and convenient to use. It's not really requiring anything special. If you've got a barbell, you're good. And a squat rack and bench, of course. Now,
there's a saying that we've heard before through multiple people, but that any program will work for anybody. It's all about consistency. Is that true in your opinion?
Yeah. I mean, the only program that's not good for you is the one you don't do.
Yeah,
because you don't get anything from not doing anything. But any program will work for you as long as you're staying consistent with it. Some may work better. Some may not work as good.
Or you might enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Okay.
But any program will work. It's always the stuff you don't do.
All right. So the 5-3-1, just to recap, sounds like it's a great program for beginners.
Yep.
It's really easy to follow. And more advanced lifters or more experienced lifters can also use it maybe as an adjunct to their other type of programming, or just continue with that from their beginner phase. Is that about right?
Absolutely. So it's a great way to do linear progression without having to overthink it.
Oh, that's good. Because I know I get I get very overwhelmed sometimes when I look at the different programmings and the linear progression. So it sounds like that's pretty standard.
Now, of course, with the main movements, you're always going to have your accessories thrown in, but choose whatever you're weak at for whatever body part you're doing. So if you're doing upper body, pick 3 upper body exercises you're weak at, lower body, 3 lower body exercises, and don't repeat them for the next exercise. So if you're doing your squats that day, you don't want to do the same lower body exercises you did for squats on your deadlift day.
Okay. So make sure you're varying the accessory movements as well.
Yep.
Okay. That's awesome. Well, that was really cool to learn about. Do you have anything else you want to share about it?
There's no set in stone. It's just a template. As long as you follow the template to a basic, you're good. Don't add in sets or reps because then you're defeating the whole purpose of 5, 3, 1.
Oh, yeah. So you overachievers out there who like to go off program,
don't make it a 6, 8, 2.
Yeah. This one is meant to be that way for a reason. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on this Coach's Corner, and we're going to see you guys again next week.
Bye.
Like and subscribe.
All the time.